Bros here. Let's talk about playoffs. Yes, playoffs. We are still talking about it. There is a chance. You're saying there's a chance. Yes, there is. Let's talk about it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go. Guys, yeah, man, it's first off, family, trust, respect. Hate them, hate them, hate them with a passion, guys. Hate them with a passion. Haters, because they ain't us. What? Is that right? Whatever. Anyways, let's talk about playoffs here, guys. It's we have a massive matchup this week versus the Dolphins. That's a big, big game for multiple reasons. Let's just show you a little bit what this whole playoff situation looks like right now and where it stands. I'm going to give you kind of a full breakdown of the playoff picture at the moment. So obviously we got the Bills right now in one position. They're the one seed right now over the Chiefs. Bills are going to take that division. They have plenty of opportunity ahead of us right now to really beat up that AFC East team, which once again this week is against the Jets. Let's go Bills. We need that to happen. Chiefs, they're going to probably take the division. I mean, they're playing the Broncos twice for the rest of the season. So, and including this weekend, they're going to beat the Broncos. There's going to be no doubt about that. So basically, I feel that they have the division. We don't really have much of a chance to get through to them unless they have a catastrophe of losing to the Broncos 2 times. I think that's the only way that it could work for us. So Ravens versus the Steelers this weekend. They're currently in the 3 seed right now in first in AFC North. Once again, Ravens are shifting around a little bit right now. Lamar Jackson is injured, so there is a idea that things could get a little shaky with them, with the Bengals kind of coming right behind them right now at about 8-4 right now, too. So they're tied with them. Titans, 4th position, 7-5 right now. They should realistically take that division. Now, once again, they're starting to get shaky. They did just fire their GM, which is an interesting idea and a thought that I definitely want to chat about down the road here, and just kind of compare to what we currently have as a GM too. So that's something that I want to chat about at another date. Let's talk about playoffs. Number 5 seed, Cincinnati Bengals, 8-4. Once again, they are tied with the Ravens now. So there could be some shifting between the Ravens and the Bengals for the next couple weeks too. So I'll talk about that. And then the Dolphins, obviously, Chargers. They're starting to have some issues. They did have their left and right tackle injured. Sounds like they're out too. They did sign Eric Fisher, so they're trying to add some depth or some additional tackles to this team because they are kind of faltering on that side. And Tua did get injured. I believe Jalen Waddle did get injured in that game too. So there is an interesting matchup for us on Sunday Night Football for the Chargers. Now, that is a massive game for us for tie-breaking abilities. If we beat them, we own a tiebreaker. If we get into a point of a tie-breaking situation, it could shift us upwards in the playoff record. And also, if we beat them, we are one game closer to them to be able to, take over their position. So, Jets, they're in the 7th. Once again, what burns about that game last week was we could have been in that position right now. Unfortunately, we lost, and that's what it is. Move on. Let's move it on. Let's go Bills. Beat the Jets. Let's go. So Patriots are in the 8th position just because we did not win. So they're playing the Cardinals here in Arizona. Let's go Cardinals. Let's find a way to make that happen. Maybe your bye week helped you guys out and that you guys are going to be on the same page at this time and you guys find a way to beat the Patriots. And obviously the Chargers are in the 9th position at 6-6, essentially tied with the Patriots. So we'll see how that pans out. Then the Raiders, which I unfortunately am going to talk about because now that loss for us is with major for them. Now, we'll see where that kind of pans out, but they're sitting on the 10th position. So let's get in and chat about, the teams and kind of who they're playing this weekend and such too. So let's get into that, guys. So let's start with actually, let me start with the Raiders here. I hate talking about them Family, trust, respect here, guys. That's what this channel's all about here, guys. And you live by that and die by that as a Chargers fan. So FTR all day, my friends. So let's talk about these Raiders here. It's I'll say one thing about it. They have gone on a 3-game win streak. They look like a totally different team, in my opinion. I mean, they came out and played well. So interesting thing to see what's going on with them. But throwing it out there, guys, let's see where they're sitting at right now. They have 5 games left, like everybody generally does in the NFL at this point in the year. Raiders Rams this weekend. This Thursday night. Big game. If the Rams could find a way and throw a bone to us, please beat the Raiders this week. Please make it happen. We got a lot of people on our channel over here chirping and talking, dude. Like Keenan Allen, all they do is talking. All they do is talking. And man, we're getting a lot of that on our channel right now from these Raiders fans. And hey, family, trust, respect, my guys. Family, trust, respect. So Rams beat them this weekend, please, or this Thursday, tomorrow. Then they play the Patriots. That's going to be a tough one because that has a lot of playoff implications to it too. Then they play the Steelers. Steelers are a better team than their record is and actually are doing very well right now with Kenny Pickett. So good game. And then the Niners, Raiders, a little battle of the Bay right there, even though they're not in the Bay anymore, but it's kind of always, in my mind, I always remember it as the Battle of the Bay. So, and then they end the season against the Chiefs at home. So that's a pretty tough schedule, in my opinion. There's a chance that they could probably go 3-2. There's a chance they could probably go 2-4 is where my mind's at, with basically a loss to the Patriots, loss to the Steelers, loss to the Niners, loss to the Chiefs. Actually, that would put you at 1-5. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Have a nice time in the offseason, guys. So just want to throw that out there. Just show you what they're at. Let's go Rams this weekend. Now let's chat about the Patriots. And now the Patriots obviously are going to be here in Arizona. Big Monday night game for them. It'll be interesting to see how that one pans out for them. Patriots as a team have kind of figured out ways to be able to lose. And then I feel with their quarterback situation, Mac Jones, I'm not really a big fan of the guy. I think he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Last week, they did get smoked by the Bills. But Cardinals, let's see if they could kind of put it together this week for them. I mean, they put us to the brink, and we basically found a way to beat them with a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. So Cardinals are a good team. They have a lot of issues going on with Cliff Kingsbury and the GM there now too. So we'll see kind of where that pans out with them. So let's go Cardinals for Monday Night Football. Obviously, Patriots play the Raiders right after that, which we chatted about. Then the Patriots play the Bengals, Dolphins, Bills. Harsh schedule. Interesting thing, I saw that the Patriots, even though they're ahead of us in the wild card position right now, I think ESPN put them at oh my gosh, I think it was way underneath us. Let me pull it up on my phone here real quick. I should have probably been a little bit more prepared for that, but it looks like ESPN put them at, oh boy, where did it go here? I think it was at 30%, if that, for to make the playoffs. It was a very, very low percentage to where we basically have they put the Patriots at 14% to make the playoffs, and they put the Raiders at 16% to make the playoffs, to where they put the Chargers at 57%. So wild to kind of see that. Even though they're ahead of us, they are basically not slated to go to the playoffs. And the reason why is because their schedule ahead of them. I mean, they have to beat the Cardinals on Monday night. They have to beat the Raiders. They have to find a way to be able to beat the Bengals, Dolphins, and Patriots. They have a very harsh schedule ahead of them. So it's going to be a tough road for them. So I feel pretty confident if we just do our business and do our things against, say, the Dolphins, we could really have a hold on the 8th position to be able to see how we could slot with the 7th and the 6th position from this point on. So once again, let's go Cardinals Monday night. Let's do that. Let's talk about the Jets, who are ahead of both of us here. Now, the Jets, They have a pretty tough schedule ahead of them too. I feel with the Mike White experiment too. Mike White does play pretty well. If you watch that last game, he had two opportunities to be able to win that game for them in the end zone and did not convert. So there is a level of not being a clutch quarterback to be able to find a way to be able to beat the Vikings last week. So let's go Bills this weekend. I think that's going to be a massive game for both the Bills and the Jets, and obviously for the Jets even more so because they have to keep pace to be able to keep that seventh position. Now their schedule does get a little bit easier all around here. If you start looking at it, you start seeing the Bills this weekend. That's a massive game for us, and we need to be able to see the Bills to beat them this week. So, and now then after that, play the Lions, the Jaguars, both at home. Seahawks and the Dolphins away. So they do have a tough schedule. They have probably a chance. And if I'm just going to say winnable games, once again, don't sleep on those Lions, by the way. The Lions are in it and they are playing tough football. High offense team. That team is actually really good. Once again, Amon-Ra St. Brown over there is an absolute stud. I think they're getting Jameson Williams here soon too. So it'll be interesting to see where he kind of fits into that team. Don't sleep on them by any means. And those sneaky Jaguars, every now and then, they find a way to be able to get a victory out there too. And they do a great job when they win. So either way, that's a tough schedule. And I'm going to say there's a great chance that they could actually find a way to be able to get maybe 1 to 2 wins out of that. At best, probably 3 wins out of the next 5. So bottom line, that's kind of where I'm sitting at. The thing about it is, guys, is that the 7th seed could potentially be a 9-win team. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. So let's move on to the Dolphins here. So Dolphins here. Let's go. All right, Dolphins. All right, here we go. So for the Dolphins, obviously they are playing the Chargers for Sunday Night Football. That was flex. They actually moved out the Royal jerseys for the Powder Blues. I get it. That's our color. That's our team. But I love those Royals. I think there's too much hate for the Royal jerseys. I love them. I love the Navy ones too, even though our record doesn't help us out all with the Navy jerseys. But either way, the Baby Blues are always classic. Can't go wrong with that. But once again, guys, the Dolphins do have a tough schedule ahead of them. Dolphins, Chargers, once again, they have a lot of injuries going on there. We'll see how that kind of pans out for them. I think it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Dolphins, Bills away in, Buffalo. Big game, cold weather, tough. Packers are really slacking these days. Christmas Day game in Miami. What a way to be able to celebrate Christmas in nice warm weather in Miami. Dolphins, Patriots. That's going to be a battle right there. That's going to be one of those games that you kind of think like, hey, Patriots have to find a way to be able to keep winning. And by that time, they might actually be completely out of the race, or they could be just very heavily just hanging on in that one. So they're not playing in Miami. Seems like when the Patriots play Miami late in the season, they always find a way to lose. But we'll see how that one goes. Cold weather, January 1st, New Year's Day game. And then they end the season against the Jets. So that's kind of a big one for all of this whole playoff picture. The Dolphins really control a lot of how this whole AFC East and how this playoffs are going to work out here. So we'll see how this goes. But bottom line, let's go Chargers. Let's get this dub, guys. We need this, man. We need this for our mental health, for our confidence, for everything. We need this, guys. So let's make this happen this weekend, Chargers. Let's go, man. Let's get this thing going, guys. Let's go. All right, let's talk about the Bengals now, man. We got a lot of teams that we're kind of looking at because there's a lot of shifting around going on here. And, I think the one thing about it is that these last 5 weeks could be wild. This could be a very, very wild situation for the playoffs. So Browns, Bengals. I feel that the Bengals have a great chance on that. But as we see ahead, now, actually, I'll say this thing about that Browns game. There is a battle there always between these teams. I mean, kind of Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and then Cleveland kind of have that very interdivision rivalry there. So mind you, don't really look at that game as that won't happen. I mean, thank you for beating the Chiefs last week, Bengals, but hey, man, we need to find ways to be able to get you guys to lose. I do think that you guys will eventually take over the division, but at the same side, this could be a very, very critical situation with the Bengals. I'm not really looking very heavily on the Bengals because I feel like, hey, they're going to make the playoffs one way or another. But at the same side, they are going to be attacking a lot of the AFC East too. So let's see. Browns, Bengals, let's go Browns, obviously. Then they play the Bucks. Then they play the Patriots. Then they play the Bills. Then they play the Ravens. So there are a couple games in there that really could help out that AFC East. We have to focus on the AFC East because there's multiple teams involved in the playoffs. So bottom line, hey, let's make the Browns beat the Bengals this weekend and shock the world. Let's go. Let's move on to I think I put as the Ravens as the last one. And why I'm putting out the Ravens there is because the Ravens are starting to kind of falter a little bit. Lamar Jackson got injured. We'll see how that kind of pans out for them. But at the same side, there's going to be a flexibility between those positions. Now, once again with the Chargers, I'm just looking for a 7th seed and possibly a 6th seed at this point. It's going to take some time to be able to get kind of the Dolphins kind of situated and where they're going to be sitting at. It's going to be taking some time with the Jets and everything too. It'll be interesting to see where that all pans out. But the Ravens are playing the Steelers this weekend. Now, once again, Steelers are doing well. I mean, they're finding ways to win right now. Kenny Pickett's doing well. They are kind of gelling as a team. Rookie quarterback. This could be a great time for the Ravens to be able to the Steelers to find a way to beat the Ravens this week. So we'll see kind of where that goes. Steelers are kind of in the thick of it. They're 5-7. They're kind of trekking their way forward. Mike Tomlin's a phenomenal coach. He finds ways to win. And so bottom line, that's a big game for us. And it's a big game for how this is going to work for the Bengals and the Ravens for playoff seeding. Remember, they're 8-4. We're 6-6. It's really only 2 games difference between us guys. So 5 games ahead. Buckle up, boys. So the Ravens versus the Browns after that. Falcons, Ravens. Steelers, Ravens. So they play the Steelers twice this weekend at home versus the Steelers away and January 1st for New Year's. And then they end the season with the Bengals, Ravens. Big game. Once again, that's a big division game, big seeding position for playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. But bottom line, Steelers, let's go. Let's get this dub and get going. So the way I'm viewing this, guys, is, I'm going to pull up the Chargers here real quick. Guys, it last week was tough. Last week was very, very tough. And, we don't like seeing that happen. And we don't like seeing us get beat down and beat to a pulp to where we just looked bad as a team. Shout out to Justin Herbert, sticking through that, through a beat up offensive line, beat up team, trying to make it happen. There was a lot of talking once again going on in that game, like Keenan Allen was saying, dude. And, we got 5 games ahead of us. And, going to this Dolphins, Chargers, going back on this is a big game for us. This is big for us in the sense of we need to beat these guys because this is where it works with the whole playoff seeding. This is a tiebreaker based game. This could shift you from a 7th seed to a 6th seed, or even a 5th seed or a 6th seed is kind of seems, in my opinion, not possible just because of how the Ravens and the Bengals are, unless there's some catastrophe of some sort where they just falter for the rest of the season or whatnot. I don't see that happening, but that's where things shift. Titans are one of those teams too that are starting to kind of have a little bit of issues here too. GM's gone. They have a terrible pass defense. They obviously have Derrick Henry, who's an absolute stud, but there is a little bit of faltering going on there. Now with the Titans though, the Titans are 7-5 right now. They're only 1 game ahead of us, but somebody's got to win that division. The thing with their schedule too is they do obviously play the Jags this weekend. I'm not really concerned too much about that because somebody has to win that division. And then they play us too after that. So there's a lot of things that are here. And they play the Texans, and then they play the Cowboys, and then they play the Jags. So their schedule is relatively easy. And then in their division too, you have to look at it as, well, the Titans are, the Colts are 4-8-1. They have very slim chance to be able to get anywhere in this AFC East or AFC South situation. So I just kind of feel like the Titans just won this division anyway. So Going back on the subject here, Titans are faltering. Dolphins are hurt too. We are hurt. We hope that we could get our guys back. Mike Williams is talking about getting back. Donald Parham is going to be back in practice this week. We hope Trey Pipkins is going to be back this week. Corey Linsley to be back this week. There is an idea that we can really find a way to be able to shock the Dolphins on Sunday night. I think it's going to be a great game all around. Positivity wise, we're getting healthier here, guys. I think with the Titans game too, I think we'll have Joey Bosa back by that time. That's where my prediction is at. And then the Colts playing them Monday night. Colts, Jeff Saturday, that whole situation. If you watched that game last week, the amount of turnovers they gave up for the Colts was terrible. And then the Rams, they're shutting everybody down pretty much. Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Aaron Donald is hurt. Matthew Stafford. That team is a mess right now too. And then we end against the Broncos. So, guys, we do have very winnable games. And really, that's interesting about this is the Dolphins-Titans games have gotten a little bit better for us. They have gotten a little bit better for us. So maybe luck is starting to change for us here. Bottom line, we are getting healthier. Bottom line, we have a chance to be able to shock the world here. So we just got to keep doing what we can control the circle that we can control, and we'll find a way to get there. So bottom line, guys, I just wanted to give you guys an update here. Keep the faith here, guys. I know it's tough after that loss and everything too. It's never fun to be able to lose against those Raiders and that Roomba looking like stadium that looks like death, like the Brisket Broad said. So bottom line, keep the faith, guys. We've got big things going on here. This game versus the Dolphins is major for us. We need to find a way to win this game. And we'll chat about that too in the pregame, about the game probably on Saturday. And we're looking forward to it, guys. But guys, tell me a little bit about the playoffs, kind of what your thoughts are on it, where we think we need to be at, and tell us a little bit about the Dolphins strategy this weekend and everything, guys. But once again, guys, love chatting with you guys. Like, subscribe, sub. We're getting close to about 1,000. I know we're a little bit over 800. We're trying to get to 1,000 this year, so we kind of get things moving a little bit more on the merch side of things. But once again, guys, we appreciate your support. Like, subscribe. And let's talk about it, guys. Let's get this game this weekend. Let's go. Bolt Bros. We out. Let's go. Woo!